Right.
We get an opportunity to do this each and every Thursday, and this Thursday no different. I am very appreciative for her being so gracious and letting Dr. Akalehe come on in the earlier segment.
Yeah.
But we get a chance to dish it up with Dr. Stroman.
First time this year, by the way.
From the basketball court at the University of
Costa
Virginia
Rica.
to the classroom at UNC Chapel Hill, Dr. Deborah Stroman has it all covered. Now this professor and sports business entrepreneur is about to take you to school. It's time for Dishing It Up with Dr. Stroman and the Sports Shop on Buzz Sports Radio.
Happy New Year, Dr. Stroman.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Wow. It seems like it's been
I know.
months. It seems like it. How are y'all doing?
Doing great.
good.
How are
We're
you?
going to make sure we get you a sat phone next time.
There we go. There we go. I love hearing you all sing. Errol, Pam, I do.
Yeah,
Thank you.
They
really
do
do.
they do pretty good. Pam been carrying it for a minute though.
I knew Ken Metz was going to say something.
No, but there's so much to talk about. But I want to start off with just following up on that wonderful interview with the chancellor. But I just want to make a few points that what I've come to realize in my experience in decades in the academy and sports business is that many academics and many college administrators are not very knowledgeable about the power of sports and how it can help the entire university immensely.
Yes.
And I'm so appreciative of Deion Sanders and what he did. He really brought attention to HBCUs and how they can do better and how they can be better. Sports are powerful. They help with community things. Thinking about the water shortage or lack thereof in Jackson. Deion Sanders made a difference there. I think about Dean Smith and Bear Bryant, how they made a difference with race relations, right? In communities. Sports, indeed, it is the front porch, and it helps with the giving. Glad to hear that. What did he say? $2 million.
$2 million.
Yeah.
Yes.
One month. Yeah.
In 1 month.
Yes.
So I'm hopeful that HBCUs can realize what the power of sports can do, and to support these athletes, support these coaches, trying to make sure that we don't have over commercialization, because the commercialization is here, and to avoid the exploitation of athletes. But it's really something that this game, the Celebration Bowl, getting the national exposure again due to Deion Sanders, that they can use that as leverage to move further. And then lastly, I'll say I would be remiss if I did not give a shout out to Dr. Ingrid McCree, who brought in Coach and really put North Carolina Central on the map with Division I sports. She was there to lead that transition.
She did.
So a big shout out to her.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Very well.
Well said. Dr. Stroman, boy, I tell you, we'll talk about it another time, but you sure most academics don't know? Because I think they're just trying to play referee, because you Reese knows, the president of the research department or whatever, the dean of this, they feel like they the front porch.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
They
So,
really do.
You got to be
do.
the referee. So I think they understand, but you got to kind of keep all the quote unquote deans happy, in that room, so to speak.
That's a challenge.
The idea is to move away from competition and move it into a collaborative space. As in sports help your small little physics department get more attention.
Well, they don't think it's small, though.
See, that's part of the problem. But you're right.
Well, that's my point.
Good.
Yeah.
They're not knowledgeable. And so as uncomfortable it can be, where we have to change parking because all the fans and alum are coming to town, as comfortable as it can be when things have to be scheduled around, 50,000 people or 100,000 people. The point is, if you are knowledgeable, you will use that as leverage to help you be better. There's nothing else on a college campus that can bring in that amount of people in a particular time period to show off your university. And more universities are getting smarter about it. There are some universities that have faculty talks before the football game that afternoon, right? There are some people will host alumni gatherings, and at those alumni gatherings during that basketball weekend, they'll ask for money. you use sports to help your program, and don't just say, oh, this is stupid, it doesn't belong, it just causes more negativity. Those things can happen indeed, but use it to your advantage.
And y'all got that off the cuff. We wasn't even prepared for that.
Right,
Wow.
I know. That's just
Snap.
straight no chaser with that one. I'm telling you.
Good stuff.
Another shout out to MEAC. The commissioner
Yes.
of MEAC is a woman.
Yeah, I met her a couple times. Great lady. Yeah.
Yeah. So the other thing is, you all were talking about basketball. There is a big game coming up with Carolina and State. But how about tonight? The number 17 UNC women's basketball team, who beat up on NC State, who was ranked number 11 on Sunday during Alumni Day. In fact, we had about 85 alums come back. But tonight at 8 o'clock, Duke and Carolina go at it in Chapel Hill.
Really?
Okay.
Okay. There you go.
I missed that.
I missed
gonna
that.
be-
How did
Yes.
I miss that one? Yeah, really.
Hey, that's why we're here, right?
That's right.
It's a team.
Yeah.
But Carolina is playing really well. They're on a 3-game winning streak. This will be the 5th-ranked opponent this season when Duke comes to town. Last year, Carolina won both games. And one thing that I have said years ago that is very important for State, Duke, and Carolina to have strong women's basketball programs.
Right.
That's the history. That's tradition. And Kara Lawson at Duke is doing a job in getting Duke back. Wes Moore, I just think he's coach of the year over and over again, and what he's done with NC
special.
State.
Right.
That man can coach.
Yeah.
And so, bang hard at Carolina, great recruiting year after year, and now, she's got them going. So every time the Triangle teams play, it is a game to be at or to watch on television. So shout out to the women.
So,
Shout out.
So Dr. Stroman, is the ACC tournament for the women's going to be in Greensboro again?
Yeah.
It is March 1 through 5.
Okay.
It's really, ACC moving to Charlotte is a whole nother topic. But Greensboro's done such a wonderful job for sports, for the ACC. They're called Tournament Town for a reason. Everybody rolls up their sleeves and does whatever possible.
That's true.
But sadly, that Coliseum community has not been commercialized. And, it's like a no-brainer when you look at what Charlotte can offer versus Greensboro in terms of support and business and corporate. People want to fly in and hang out in Charlotte versus Greensboro. And we don't have the time now to go into all the reasons why Greensboro was never able to maximize that very, very close relationship with the ACC. I know every time I drive up to the Coliseum, I'm still looking at that shopping center that needs a lot of help, right?
Yes.
There's nothing going on there. You would think there would be clubs and franchise.
I agree.
Food franchise. It's really sad how they could not develop that area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about Dr. Deborah Stroman, saying we do each and every Thursday, and this one is no different. Dr. Deborah Stroman joining us today. What else you got for us, Dr. Stroman?
Well, I think we're going to have to do a part 2 with this because this is so big. I was really moved by Coach Anthony Grant, who's in his 6th year at Dayton. And he basically got on the press conference the other night and just released to the world that his team and himself, they've been threatened, as in this whole thing around sports betting.
What?
He revealed that they have been receiving hateful messages, threats, all related to gambling, which became legal in Ohio on January 1. In 2018, the Supreme Court made a decision that now we can have state-sponsored sports betting. But to give you an example, he actually played the voicemail. This is one of the voicemails that said, "You had the lead with 2 minutes left. That's not comfortable. People will go down. Heads will roll for what happened tonight. I promise you that."
Now this is.
this is just sickening. What is going on? So what had happened, y'all? Now, Dayton had beaten Davidson 68-61 on Tuesday, though they failed to cover the 10.5 point spread. And then on Friday, the Dayton Flyers, they fell to VCU despite holding an early 14-point lead in a game that they were favored in. So what's happening is the attacks on young people, on college coaches' programs, because as it's been said, fans have turned into gamblers. And gamblers are not fans. It's all about my money and winning.
Right.
So I'll pause there. I have so much on this topic, but this
Wow.
is what's
Oh, my
going on.
God. That's shocking.
Again, we talked about Deborah Stroman with Dish Level D Stroll each and every Thursday. You just blew my mind with this one.
Yeah.
And now, if this is the tip of the iceberg, what's going on? Because if that is the case, then we really have to be real careful here, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
This is
because guys being threatened because he missed a free throw that would have made
Yes.
team would have won, and somebody lost 10 grand because of that.
Well,
Are you kidding me?
But how is this any different than, over the years where, people, threaten the kicker that missed the kick?
Well,
and,
Matt,
all of the, you missed, you dropped the pass in the end zone. They threatened it, I mean, those type of things have happened. But I guess what I'm concerned about is like just the routine of it. Like it's usually just one little one-off.
Yeah, but see,
if you're looking at the spread, if you're looking at the point spread, and you're looking at when you start that, it's
and the difference is that may have existed in a small sense because it was illegal gambling going on, right? But now it's above board.
Right.
Exactly.
So they're bold with it. They're
They're
calling,
bold with
they're
it,
leaving the messages.
and that's a game changer there, man.
That's a game changer.
That's a game changer right there. Yeah. It really is.
Yeah, so
That's sad.
It's really, really sad. It's very, very scary. Coach Grant again referenced the mental health. He stated that these are young people. They have families.
right.
They don't deserve it. Mental health is real.
Right.
So I ask, if you're a Flyer fan, just understand what you're dealing with. It's young people. Take a step back, reevaluate your priorities. And if you can't, we don't need you. So again, that fine line. They're fans, but yet now some are turning into gamblers, and people are being, to your point, Pam, being very, very bold. Understanding that the NCAA is now in this dance, right? They're perfectly fine with people betting on sports, right? States are rushing in to grab the revenue. I think we now have 32 states, that have adopted sports betting to some degree by this year. Colorado, LSU, Maryland have already signed sponsorships with gaming companies. The MAC conference, they became the first FBS conference to license its data stats, right, for betting purposes.
Wow.
Pac-12 is signed a similar deal. And we know at the pro level, the only reason why we have injury reports for the NFL is because of betting.
Yes. Right.
And now, schools are considering, what about the transparency? They tried to get coaches a number of years ago to start sharing whether or not players are injured, but the reporting was inconsistent. Some coaches said, we're not going to do that. This is really, really out of hand. There's one company that we should follow. They're called U.S. Integrity. They give advice to a lot of conferences because they basically oversee corruption in the gaming industry. But the founder, Matt Holt, he's been talking about this, saying this is truly a tsunami and people need to pay attention to what's going on. You have access to athletes and, you can have a quarterback that is a really good quarterback, just asking him to throw maybe one or two interceptions when it doesn't matter. And that can make a difference with that quarterback having $100,000 in their pocket, 2 days later. The other thing that was interesting, being a female, is that they're talking about women's college sports are being very, very extremely vulnerable to this because bettors are smarter. And now there's a line with college women's basketball, WNBA. And the reason why they're really vulnerable is because women athletes don't make a lot of money. So it's easy to pull them into this space.
Wow.
So I just wanted to drop this.
Yeah, we're gonna need a part two on this one.
Yes.
This one here. Good gracious.
This is serious stuff.
Yeah, serious.
Very, very serious. And then to tie it to racial equity, I think about how oftentimes we're not moving the needle fast enough with urgency because language matters. And so we know we have inequities in every system, whether it's education, criminal justice, healthcare, media, whatever. We've got disparities between outcomes between white and brown and black folks. Language matters. When you don't name it very clearly, then people can operate in silos. And it's the same thing with this. We've got different names for this space. Is it betting? Is it gambling? Is it wagering? Right? So we have different ways that can cause distractions so that people don't really pay attention to it. The last thing I want to say is that in North Carolina, for all our North Carolina listeners, is sports betting is legal in our state. It's legal and it's active. But once again, we're talking about racial equity. The only sports spots that you can actually physically go in retail is in 3 locations. And guess where they are? Tribal casinos in the West.
Yes.
Yeah, Native Americans, indigenous people. And we know, again, gambling is a disease, but we know the odds of winning and making a lifestyle and making a career out of this,
Right.
it's like people who spend their paychecks on the lottery ticket. You're really just throwing your money away.
Right.
But the only way you can do that in North Carolina is to walk into one of those tribal casinos. Now, online sports betting, not here yet. It was defeated in 2022. Possibly it'll come after
be back
2024. But that's the state status right now. So you need to head to Western North Carolina or go into Virginia or Tennessee to do, the other way to get your legal bets in.
All right,
Wow.
Dr. Stroman, we appreciate it.
Oh,
We will
man.
do
Thank you
this